The year is 2001. You're in charge of Valencia. You have made the last two Champions League finals but lost both of them and missed out on qualification for this coming season. The coach that got you there, Héctor Cuper, has just left for Inter Milan and you're tasked with finding his replacement. Two of the star players, Claudio Lopez and Gaizka Mendieta, have also left for Lazio. They won't be replaced and you'll have to resign soon for your role in allowing the latter to leave. Do you go for Javier Irueta, the Deportivo La Coruña coach who took them to their first ever La Liga title? Do you go for Mane, the Alaves coach who took them to the UEFA Cup final? Do you go for Luis Aragonés, who kick-started Valencia's current success in the mid-90s? Well, good luck with that, because none of them want anything to do with your mess. Do you go for Rafael Benitez, the coach who just got Tenerife promoted, but has spent less time in the first division than most of the players he would be teaching, never mind the Champions League? If you answered yes, then congratulations. You've just won Valencia their first La Liga title in 31 years, as well as a second and a UEFA Cup to go with it. Valencia may have lost their stars, however, while the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona were bringing in Zinedine Zidane, Luis Figo, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho and Patrick Kluivert to half-heartedly trot back into position when they lost the ball, all of Valencia's players were expected to work hard and contribute defensively. Valencia's players lacked the talent of their more illustrious rivals, so they worked overtime to make up the gap, utilising an intense, compact pressing system that saw them nicknamed the crushing machine for the way that they gave the opposition no respite. With Benitez setting up his side in a 4-2-3-1, Valencia would line up in a 4-4-2 shape out of possession. The forwards would block the passes into midfield, while the two narrow banks of four would starve the opposition of space in the centre. Attempt to pass into midfield and the opposition would be surrounded on all sides in a tight space, making it easy for Valencia to reclaim the ball. With the centre blocked, the opposition were encouraged to play out to the wide areas, where there was space. If they were reluctant to do so of their own accord, then Valencia's forwards would step up to pressure the centre-backs while curving their run to continue blocking the pass into midfield, hurrying the opposition into a quick decision, move the ball on, or lose it. In an era where comfort on the ball was less of a requirement to be a defender, Valencia's forwards were often able to rush the opposition into misplaced passes, seeing Valencia win the ball back in the opposition half, or into going long, where Valencia's strong defensive base were in an excellent position to win the ball back. With the centre blocked up by Valencia, the opposition were encouraged to play wide, where they could be trapped against the touchline. The Valencia winger would move out to close down the wide player in possession, or curving his run to block a pass down the line, while the fullback behind him would also move out to get tight to the opponent behind the winger, denying them space to receive the ball. With the Valencia winger closing them down, the man on the ball had to move the ball on quickly. However, his options were limited. The pass down the line was blocked off and its recipient was tightly marked by the Valencia fullback. The pass back to the centre-back was difficult to pull off due to the pressing of the Valencia forward standing close to him. And the pass inside to the midfielder would be cut off by the Valencia central midfielder getting tight to him to support the press. Even if he could squeeze the ball through to the winger down the line, this rarely helped his team, as a winger would be surrounded by three players, the fullback, the winger blocking the backwards pass, and the central midfielder blocking the pass inside. Valencia would often form these triangles out wide to surround the opposition and recover the ball. Attempt to pass inside to the midfielder and the same problem occurred. Valencia would quickly surround the man on the ball and win back possession. This press was all backed up by their solid defensive base. The back line would step up behind their teammates to squeeze the available space, with their aggressive style of play making them perfect to step in and intercept any attempts to squeeze the ball through into the forwards, while the players on the opposite side would shift across to cover those who were pressing on the ball side. Supporting this intensity was good counter-pressing before counter-pressing was even really recognised as a tactical concept. Players would seek to win back the ball after losing it, and their teammates would position themselves to support them, cornering and trapping the opposition so that they had no time on the ball. What makes Valencia's counter-pressing interesting for its time, though, is how they actually seemed organised to do so thanks to their formation. In an era where most teams were playing a 4-4-2, Valencia opted for a 4-2-3-1. This meant that whereas most teams would have two strikers ahead of the ball when they lost it, Valencia usually only had one, with Pablo Aimar instead close by in midfield to pressure and win the ball back. This improved further in the 2003-04 season, where, with the arrival of the likes of Ricardo Oliveira and Fabian Cannobio, Valencia were often playing wingers that would tuck inside into this attacking midfield area, rather than hugging the touchline. This meant that when Valencia lost the ball, these players were in midfield, in position to pressure the opposition, rather than out on the flanks. With the midfielders behind them sitting back too, rather than pushing forward as those in a 4-4-2 usually did, Valencia had 2 men in front of the defence ready to step in and recover the ball when they lost it. The use of a double pivot rather than a single pivot also meant one could step forward while the other held his position in front of the defence. While the likes of Real Madrid left their creating to their Zidanes and demanded that the Pavons make up the shortfall defensively, Valencia beat them not once but twice on a much smaller budget by working as a team, with Benitez organising them as a relentless defensive unit.